All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our call with Zakee Wheatley. As always, please raise your hand and I will unmute you. We'll start with Joe Smeltzer.
Hey, Zakee, thanks for the time today. So, in the past few days, just how have things been? Just kind of getting over the Ohio State loss, learning what you need to learn, correcting what you need to correct, and then just getting ready for Indiana.
I say between Ohio State and giving over that, just between Saturday afternoon and then Sunday, coming in Sunday, watching film, watching the corrections, going over everything we went, you know what I'm saying, that needs to be corrected, watch over the game, seeing what we did good and what we did bad, just, you know what I'm saying, leaving it for that. And then once we hit yesterday, the off day, going and watching film and starting on the next week and continue to go 1-0.
John McGonigal.
Zakee, when you guys look at the disruption you've caused in the secondary, a lot of pass breakups, how much of an emphasis, how much of an emphasis from your coaches is on turning those pass breakups into interceptions? It seemed like you guys had a couple of near opportunities there over the weekend.
I'll say a lot, Coach Manny, Coach Diaz, Coach Diaz, Coach Dex, Coach Smith, a whole defensive coordinator, Coach Frank. We all emphasize causing havoc, creating turnovers and getting the ball in our hands. So we're on the field. That's just something that's like in our mind naturally when we're playing.
Tyler Donahue.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for your time. I'm curious how you've seen this defense maybe evolve, change a bit with that dual Carter in the starting lineup the last couple of games.
I mean, Abdul's an electric player. He brings energy to defense. So whenever you have a player down the field, regardless of the snaps, it's always beneficial. And definitely, I love playing with Abdul. A player like that, that's all. You just know he's going to make plays and go all out.
Ronnie Collins.
Zakee, do you take more out of the first 50 minutes of that game when you guys were playing extremely well, or out of the last 10 when things didn't go your way, when you go back and watch it on film?
It's one of those things where you got to watch the film, watch all 4 quarters. But definitely, the first 3 quarters was definitely better football being played, and then you got to also watch the last 10 minutes just to see what needs to be corrected so this doesn't ever happen again. Because, of course, obviously, college football is a competitive sport, so every week you got to come with the right mindset. So there's you got to play 4 quarters every time. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on with the scores. Just play 4 quarters, give it a full 62 hours, and just get everything you got.
Back to Tyler.
What's going to be the most important thing for this team as you guys get back onto the practice field and try to move on from the last game and move forward to the next one?
Just worrying about the day that's at hand. Tuesday practice, we're focus on the next game, go 1-0. That's all it really is to it. Just moving on, staying hungry, and just keep working and driving to go 1-0 every week.
Ronnie.
Zakee, what did you see from Indiana's defense? How much have you been Indiana's offense? What have you been able to see from them that they do that's different?
I'm not gonna get really much into the film and exactly the personality that I'm seeing, but DBs, we went there yesterday and watched the film and just watched the play concepts, watched the little signs, the splits, and just seeing what we can work on. And today going into practice, really diving in deep and seeing what they're doing.
Miguel.
Hi, Zakee. Holding Ohio State to only 16 points through 3 quarters, how would you evaluate your performance as defense in the game, and what is that Ohio State did in the 4th quarter to suddenly become so effective?
I would say nothing really changed dramatically in the 4th quarter that caused any of that to happen. It's football, two great teams, and things things happen. But I'll say, what was your first question again? The first one?
Yes. How do you evaluate your performance as a defense in the 3 first quarters?
I'll say we was playing aggressive, we was playing fast, we was playing really good, you feel me? And then we still had the same mindset, and so you know what I'm saying. This football happened, and things happen.
Tyler?
Yeah, Zakee, I'm not sure if you had seen this already, but Indiana's leading receiver, Cam Camper, has been ruled out for the season with a torn ACL. He had almost 50 catches on the season so far. You remove someone like that from the equation. What does it do when you're preparing for a team? So much of the film is going to involve him being that number one target.
Definitely, just seeing what he did and what the of course the backup's going on. They have the same plays. They're not going to change play because someone's hurt. So just watching what he did, his tendencies, and him and all the other receivers, and just kind of like looking at the concepts and not really worrying about one guy, but just taking everyone serious, going out there, and no matter who you guard, just owning them and then going from there.
Joe?
Hey, Zakee. So we're entering, this is the first day in November, so obviously the last month for the regular season. A lot has changed for you in the last year in regards to your role on the team, as well as I'm sure a lot of other areas. So what would you say the biggest change is for you, just either as a football player or as a person compared to where you were November 1st of last year?
I say I've grown tremendously, mentally, physically. My game of football is the knowledge, everything, honestly. That just comes from the off season, just preparing well and just taking it serious and knowing that, you know what I'm saying, like this game doesn't go on forever. So every time you go on the field, you just gotta make something happen. And I just had that mindset the whole time. And then every year I just continue to progress and get better.
Andrew Destin?
Hey, Zakee, thanks for doing this. Gotta ask about your hoodie. I'm seeing it right now, and yeah, I hear the chuckle there. What's the background on that? How'd you get that? And could you talk a little bit more about the celebration itself? I know some other players have, but how'd that kind of start up from your perspective? Thanks.
It started before the season, with my man Day, 25, and he kind of just grew. We just kept that mindset, just kept on, believing, just knowing that we were the best DBs in the country. And just every time you step on the field, just having a little bit of swag with us. And then came about the hoodies, y'all know what it is in lockdown you.
Any other questions? Tyler?
You've got another month here and maybe some work after that with Jair Brown. But I'm curious, are you finding your way as a leader, or other guys finding their way as a leader in that safety room? Because Jair, we've heard so much about his abilities, but he'll be leaving the program in a matter of 4 or 5 games now.
Definitely. Right now, we just all listen to his leadership and learning off of his leadership to help us, of course, next year and in the future. But for right now, I'll say I'm just really been going day by day and just enjoying the time I got with him, before he leaves and go off and do whatever he does. But just, appreciate his leadership and then learning so that next year, when that time comes, then we can handle that.